so much bigger than your body. And one of the things that Jesus showed me was that my spirit had grown in authority by feeding it. So I developed my spirit, yeah. Small s. And because I had created that environment, what happened is that Jesus showed me that out 30 feet from me is where my spirit's border was. That I had grown, and that within 30 feet, anybody that got within 30 feet became under my authority in what I was walking in. And that's why with Brother Hagin, in his last phase of his ministry, which he told us when he was on his second and third phase, he said that fourth phase, he said that whole sections would get hit by the Spirit of God in his last phase. He told us this years before it happened. And then we watched it later, and you were actually part of that, Regina. You actually were there and watched that all happen, but he talked to us 10, 15, 20 years prior in class about it. He told us this is what's going to happen. He said, as the Spirit grows in the knowledge of God, that one day, he said, it will affect the whole sections of the auditorium. So you can watch those films, and I guarantee you, we watched them hundreds of times, but because it gets on you. But he would walk down the aisle and just turn and stand there and just point, and whole sections would fall. And he'd go like this just to turn, and everybody that got in that way, and he'd just say, everybody stand up in this row. And it was this whole sections. He would just go like this. And he told us that was his last phase of his ministry, that he would walk in that fullness of that. And so I encourage people not to worry about what the enemy knows and doesn't know, but walk in your kingship and your priesthood on this earth in authority, to where the demons would rather just opt out. And this is what the Lord showed me. He said, every day you just picture little white flags where demons were posted, just that they just put up white flags, and they're taking the day off. They're not going to even show up to fight you that day. And I see little white flags all the time. I see just white flags because the enemy can't get near someone who's walking in this. That with Jesus, they couldn't even shut up. They couldn't even be quiet. Jesus would show up, and they just couldn't shut up. They started yelling at him. Yeah. And as a little kid, I thought, why didn't they just be quiet? And then Jesus wouldn't even know they were there, But so that's the way Jesus was. So I just want to bring it back to how Jesus walked. Mm-hmm. He just said what the Father was saying, and what he walked in, he said we're to walk in it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, I'm not concerned about what the devil knows or doesn't know. What I'm concerned about, do I know? Mm. Do I know it, and am I walking in it? And so you should pray in tongues. And like now I'm praying in tongues. So I was at work driving a limousine, and I'm not allowed to pick up people unless they're assigned. So I had this big limousine, and I was going to pick up a rock band that was, after the concert, I was to pick them up. And there was a guy on the street, and the Lord said, pick him up. And I'm not, Lord, you're breaking the rules. I'm not allowed to pick him up, But he came in, and I said, so the Lord told me to you witness to him. So I picked him up, and I said, hey, I can't take you very far, but can I take you just a couple blocks? He says, I got to go. He goes, yeah. And so I'm just saying, so what's going on with you? Why? Where are you going? And I'm praying in tongues, but you couldn't tell that I'm praying in tongues right now, but I was praying in tongues. Yeah. And he goes, he's looking at me, and I'm being nice to him and everything. He goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm talking to you. He goes, no, that other thing. I go, what other thing? He goes, we don't like that. I go, oh, it's we now. I go, well, how many are there? He said, we're many. And he said, we've come to destroy America. And I go, really? It's quite an endeavor. So anyway, the demons started talking, and they go, tell him to stop that. We hate that. It confuses us. He was holding his head. Wow. The guy was holding his head because the demons were like, tell him to stop. And all I was doing was praying in tongues.